Greetings and thank you for accepting this invitation. Thank you for opening it. Whether you found your way here because your heart is hurting or your relationships feel confusing or you may be searching for answers or simply want to understand yourself and others more deeply, I want you to know that you're very, very welcome. Before we begin this journey together, I would like to share something personal. Hmm. There comes a moment in life when you realize that holding on and letting go can both require tremendous courage. For a very long time, I believed that strength meant never giving up. However, today I have come to understand that sometimes strength means honoring what was, accepting what is, and making peace with what will never be. Some chapters of our lives shape us forever. They teach us how deeply we can love. They expose wounds we never knew we carried. They even reveal both our greatest strengths and our deepest fears. And if we're willing to listen, they leave us wiser than they found us. One of the greatest lessons I have learned is this: unhealed wounds don't simply disappear, they speak. And sometimes the unhealed wounds speak through anger, they speak through silence, and sometimes they speak through withdrawal, they speak through control, through perfectionism, through people pleasing, through the fear of being abandoned. They even speak through the fear of never feeling wanted. Sometimes they speak through hyper-independence. When wounds begin speaking to one another, relationships become confusing. We often believe we're arguing about words, we're arguing about decisions, about circumstances, about money. However, in reality, two wounded hearts may simply be trying to protect themselves in the only ways they know how. That realization right there changed me. It changed the way I see conflict. It changed the way I viewed relationships. It changed the way I view some of my family members. It changed the way I viewed people in general. And perhaps most importantly, it changed the way I began to see myself. Healing is not about pretending the pain never happened. It's not about forgiving and forgetting. Healing is not about proving who was right or who was wrong. Healing begins when we become curious enough to ask a different question. Not what's wrong with them, what's wrong with him, or what's wrong with her, but what wound might be speaking right now? That single question became the beginning of everything. It became the beginning of my own healing as a therapist and clinician. It became the foundation of this series. And it became the reason when wounds speak exists. So today I choose gratitude over regret. I choose understanding over judgment. I also choose peace over unanswered questions. I choose forgiveness over resentment. I choose growth over bitterness. And above all, I choose healing. So today, I release every expectation that no longer serves me. I invite you to release every version of your life that has never served you, nor was ever meant to be. Let's release the need to rewrite yesterday, and instead, let's welcome tomorrow with open hands. So, to every person who has loved me and still loves me, thank you. To every person that allowed me to love them, that I still love, thank you. To every lesson that broke me only to rebuild me, thank you. This is not the end of my story. It's simply the beginning of a new chapter. And perhaps it is the beginning of yours as well. As we begin this journey together, I invite you to listen differently. Listen beyond the words. Listen beneath the behavior. Listen for the story. Listen for the wound. Because behavior is often the language of an unhealed wound. And when we understand the wound, the behavior begins to make sense. And when the behavior begins to make sense, healing becomes possible. Welcome to When Wounds Speak. Welcome to the journey. So let's begin.